to know?
To you, Sabine. I mean,
To you.
Doing great. It's a sunny day in California. We're doing good. How about yourself? Well, Matt, really? I expected the full tuxedo dress up today.
That's what I
What
said.
happened?
I don't have a tuxedo. I can't help you with that.
We'll get you a tuxedo T-shirt. I think
This is like over-promising, you know. Yeah, I'm Kevin. I thought they have these T-shirts, don't they, that look like one? Yeah.
I know that would have been so good. That would have been good, so good. Mr. Peterson, welcome.
Hello, everyone. How are we today?
All right, we got Jeff. Jeff is also a sponsor of the Digital Embellishment Designer Meetup, so it's a big, awesome thing to have him here. We got Joe DeBoy. We got Sally. How are you guys doing?
Good. How you doing?
Fantastic.
What's going, Jeffrey?
All right.
Matthew?
Hey, Joe. How are you doing?
Good to see you. Good to see you.
See ya, sir.
All right. So listen, guys, still a ton of people coming in. So we're just gonna get this this little party started. I would first like to thank you guys for all showing up. It means a lot to us as we're growing this community of designers who like to design for really cool technology, and this would not be possible without the help, of course, of our fantastic sponsors. A big thank you to MGI Digital Technology for being the main sponsor. A big thank you goes out to Sabine and Paper Specs, who has a really cool event coming up soon, which I hope you're going to tell us a little bit more about. And a big thank you to Jeff Peterson, the FSCA, and the Digital Embellishment Alliance for supporting our outreach to designers. We could not do this without you guys, so a big thank you goes to you. So today's fantastic theme is designing for luxury. And maybe there's a lot of things that luxury companies or luxury brands like or prefer when it comes to this kind of technology that maybe doesn't necessarily apply to other types of verticals or segments. And I would like to hand the mic off to our hostess with the mostest muscles, Mr. Matt Redbear. Unfortunately, not wearing a tuxedo as I had promised.
Very disappointing.
I'm sorry, Sabine. If you had texted me and said, "Hey,
I will next time."
Next time, make your demands in advance."
Well, and I'm sure I'm not alone. Everybody had full expectations here.
Yeah. Well, I think that Matt needs to have a full tux at Printing United in a few weeks.
No.
Oh, boy.
We're going to be in hot-looking jerseys there, so look forward to that.
All right.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I just thought I would open up the discussion with, what is luxury print? What is it? Anybody want to jump in and answer that question?
Expensive?
No, less is more. You know my mantra. Kevin, come on.
No, but what is a luxury brand? Like, I think Chanel, I think Rolex, I think Maserati.
Hermes, yeah.
Yes, Hermes.
Tiffany's.
So what makes them luxury? What is it that makes them that?
I mean, certainly I think cost,
my point here is that we just immediately recognize these things as luxury, but we don't know why. It's because it's been constantly pushed on us, presented to us that way. It's been advertised that way. It has been a self-made notion that just as soon as you think of Chanel, you think luxury. As soon as you think of Louis Vuitton.
What's the price point? So
that's what I said, right? I said price and exclusivity. So it's like not everybody has it. There's maybe a limited supply sometimes on purpose to make the value of that thing go up, right? So I think supply related. I think it's a lot of marketing, and I think it's price related as well.
It's that exclusivity. Yeah, that I have this and you don't. So that all comes down to ego, does it not?
Oh, that's most of marketing comes down to ego.
Absolutely. Anybody here ever watch Mad Men, the entire many seasons of Mad Men?
Awesome show.
All of it.
Oh my God, it defines all of that in twisted, evil ways, and I absolutely love it. And it made me think of the luxury brand, or even just advertising and marketing all by itself, in a completely different, insipid kind of light. And I actually am thinking about going back and watching that entire set of series and all those seasons, and see if I can pick up anything up now that I've been in the business for so long. if my perspectives have changed. But luxury, it's exclusivity, it's a look, it's a feel, it's something that's, I think, developed over time as a specific look and feel. You've got foil, you've got varnish overlays, everything is understated, everything is carefully selected palettes, rigid boxes, magnetic closures, just very special little items, special elements to it. This is one of my favorites.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Yeah,
beautiful.
and
That was a nice run. Was that
Yeah.
digital or is that conventional?
this is conventional, and then of course it has the inside form.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow.
Love
I
that.
should probably kill my background so that you can see it better.
Yeah.
It has the form on the inside that matches the cover.
Well, I think this is what you see a lot these days is in cosmetic branding,
Yeah.
where they want to convey their exclusivity, their up level marketing.
Yeah. And this, honestly, Sabine, I think this is pretty garish when it comes to a luxury look and
Well,
feel.
Lancome is not.
It's not really.
I think it's where you draw. Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah.
Between Kevin and I, we're like, well,
Well, yeah.
this is more like
How far up you're
upper
going
level,
on the
but
ladder.
luxury is a level up for sure.
Well, for example, it's funny you say that. So I looked at that Lancome and I was surprised. I go, huh, that's funny. They went with a shiny silver.
Mhm.
And a lot of the brands that I've worked with which are they're typically going to go with more of a matte foil than a
Right.
glossy foil. They stay away from holographics.
Yeah.
Holographics we see really in a lot of things, aimed at younger people. Like cannabis is all holographics. But what I've seen in my personal experience, and I think we have a lot of people here who run jobs for these types of customers, so I really want to hear from everybody on the call. Like typically they stay away from the blingy looking. Oh, we got David Drucker coming on. He's going to tell us all about what.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
He's
God.
the man to tell us
Oh,
about
God.
that.
We're going to get a
God.
lecture now.
Oh, we're gonna get a lecture from Dave. How you doing, buddy?
Good morning. How are you?
Good.
We're
We
talking
actually,
luxury packaging, and your name was the first one to came up. So when they said David's coming on, I'm like, he's going to tell us all about it.
Tell us.
right. So, David, the question was, we're seeing a lot of anecdotally, and I want to know from you if you're seeing this too. Typically, the higher end luxury companies, when it comes to embellishments, are staying away from like the shiny stuff and going more for like the matte type foils, the matte golds, the matte coppers.
Understated look.
Is that something that you're seeing, or am I totally off?
I have something right in front of me that I can share with you. So really based on that. I'm working with a company right now. Let me see if this is it, where I introduced not on their luxury boxes. I mean, their packaging, they're going really just corrugated and somewhat simple. But on their identity itself, I had introduced to them a copper rose gold digital foil. And though I love the way that it works, we ultimately went for just a standard hot stamp. It was a lot less money to do it digitally for them, but I understand where they're coming from. I just personally think that what we did for them in the digital arena was rich. I mean, it just was so sexy, and I was disappointed that they didn't go further than that. They didn't want to follow through. I mean, and we could have followed through with all of their different productions, but it's what they want, and I understand. It took me a step back, but the luxury of that is that we have the opportunity to switch off, providing they have the budget for that. Let me try to find that
Because we're all salivating here, buddy. You
I
can't.
just want to, yeah. Between Kevin and I, we're like, wait a second, it's like dangling the carrot, but you're not showing it to
You
us.
can't set it up and not show it, man. That's
I'm just putting it together.
Mm.
Okay. Here, oh, this isn't it. hold on.
But while you're looking for that, can you say anecdotally, like, is there a preference, or is that something that I am seeing that is maybe in my tunnel vision when it comes to choice of foil? Are you
No,
seeing a
no,
preference?
Kevin, I actually think it's just a current trend.
Yeah.
And the trends come and
Yes.
go. And it used to be that if you wanted luxury, it had to be it had to be very shiny. Granted, not beveled or embossed. It can be embossed, but usually it was embossed in a traditional sense. But the current trend that I'm seeing is steering towards the soft touch. It's steering towards muted matte finishes. It's steering towards
Earthy tones, no? Earthy
yeah,
foils.
yeah, matte finish foils rather than the
Matt, can you move your mic up? I think you moved it down.
yeah, it just falls
Oh,
down.
much better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna show you the original, which is right
wow.
here.
Whoa.
Okay, and you see what that does? You see how that moves? I mean, this is a type of thing that somebody gets in their hands and they stop
Hmm.
and they focus on it. So then we did a version that was hot
David, could you
stamp.
hold it right in front of you? Then it doesn't blur with your background.
There
Thank
you
you.
go. Perfect. Wow. That was done digitally?
That
This is digitally, and really what I wanted to work on is that refraction of the light, which I've used before. But I understand where they wanted to go, and here's a comparison. Okay, this is just a stamp.
Yeah.
Okay, and let's
hard to
flip this
see.
around. And so I'm sorry I wasn't prepared for this, but you can see the difference of the two.
Hmm.
It looks
And
like you're getting more detail on the stamp.
yeah,
The
but
It's
ultimately
difficult
they
to
changed
see.
everything, and this is what we just delivered. So this is a stamp.
Oh,
Oh, it's pretty though.
yeah, it is nice.
Yeah. I mean, I could understand, the change and what we wanted, what we went with, but I would almost guarantee that in the future they might use it for something. They might use the digital end. I don't think just because they're luxury. I mean, they are a luxury medical organization, really, really high end. But I think they might utilize it a little bit later. And the key here is it's really for my benefit to have pulled these proofs because now I see what is we're capable of.
Right.
We did something similar with a holiday card that we did that Sabine
Green
was so
spot.
nice to show, but this has a lot tighter lines, so therefore there's far more of a refraction. Um, and looking at it, and what I wanted was that immediate response of, hey, wow, stop, let's look at this, let's study it. And
Interesting. And so, David, what percentage of your customers would you say are kind of playing that luxury arena?
80%.
Yeah.
80%.
Wow.
And out of those 80% versus the other 20, what's like the one thing that you see as a trend right now when it comes to their design choices? Is there anything that kind of pops out at you as like, oh, they're really leaning this way? What are you seeing?
I have seen well, nonprofit and luxury, I think, are the same exact thing. You're going
Yeah,
for
I
the
agree.
same audience, you're going for money. Okay. So for nonprofit, I've seen, really nice pieces of art, CMYK, um, and then doing a soft touch on top of that, making boxes and such like that. With the luxury, I'm seeing solid colors and then foil on top of solid colors.
Interesting.
It's actually made my job a lot easier because once I see what the color they want to use, I can just marry up a foil to go with that. Um, these Radiance business cards now allow me to show, these are the differences between the two, between the foil and the digital foil. But I'd say it's half and half. Um, I'm working now with a company out of Phoenix that is very a club for very wealthy people, and they just got done doing all their printed materials, and she wound up contacting me because she doesn't like it. She doesn't feel that it's sexy enough or that it's rich enough. And I could look at it and tell very easily. Somebody sold them on a solid black background, soft touch lamination, but with a spot UV on it. And the spot UV really doesn't accent what they wanted to accent. And what I told them is, let's take away the spot UV and do your name on a solid black background in a copper foil, in a digital copper foil. And,
Nice.
to me right there, that somebody once again is going to stop and study that and know that there's a very sexy, rich feel to that.
Sure.
You
Sure.
know, it's all
Very-
haptic. It's all haptic. It's and the thing is as well is that we're not really we don't educate our clients enough. You might shy away from a client because maybe they don't think it's in their budget or not, but the fact is you show it anyway, you get it out there. It might come back to you in 6 months or a year, but at least it's out there and you're educating the client to what possibilities are. Or even better is when one person recommends another person saying, hey, I had seen this business card and I
Yeah.
think it was done really well. Call these people. So
Interesting.
get it out there. Get it out there. That's the most I can say. And also really important is to make sure that we're I consider us seniors. We've been in the industry for a long time, but you look at the 40-year-old and younger, and those are the people you really need to get in front of. Those conversations, once you show it to them, are ideal. And the reason why is sometimes the conversation is very different than you would expect and that conversation turns into inspiration, and that inspiration can then be discussed with senior members in marketing as
Yeah.
well. It really benefits both parties, printer to designer, designer to printer, and it's an inspiration. So
I love it.
Hey, David,
I did have a question for Jeff. Oh, sorry, Jeff. Go ahead.
Oh, no.
I had a question for you, but go ahead.
You know what? I'll ask David one question. You can ask me. But
Perfect.
David, interestingly enough, I know you've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
And the digital options for embellishments are still somewhat new. So from your situation on new jobs and what you've been working on, how much how much work has changed from more of a traditional hot stamp, foil stamp, emboss to a digital embellishment with foil or specialty spot UV? Have you transitioned some, or a percentage of jobs that go more that direction?
So, we've done, if you do a price comparison of doing a luxury box and, they're going to influencers, let's say you're doing 50 boxes. I find that the cost of doing a wrap in digitally is far more cost effective than hot stamping it.
100%.
And for that reason, that has actually boosted my business.
Right.
Because when I first saw it, I don't know how many years ago it was, maybe 7 or 8 years ago, maybe longer. I took it and I showed it to everybody, and I began to see that everybody was getting on the bandwagon and they were using it. But I feel the key to this is quantity.
Yes.
Quantity is going to dictate the direction you go in. Digital, as I say, can make it a little more affordable. It also will change the direction maybe of design entirely once somebody sees that. So I just kind of leave it like this. When I make a presentation, I will probably bring 5 or 6 pieces with me, and maybe they're not even related at all to packaging. Let's say it's packaging. Maybe it's just other pieces that I've done, and I put them out there, and you would be amazed at the conversation that then happens because somebody will see, oh, I like what you did here, but I like that paper that's over here. and it goes into a new direction. Once again, I'm going to go back to that point of inspiration. When those conversations happen, it might not benefit that particular conversation, but it benefits me in the next conversation I'm going to have with the next prospect.
Very cool.
So that's why, and it's very, very difficult only for the reason that where I am, most people moved out of Manhattan and I can't get to see them anymore.
Yeah, they all moved here to Florida for some reason.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
They're building sandcastles on Kevin's beach.
Yeah. So when I see that opportunity to get in front of somebody,
Yeah.
I try to do it immediately. The other thing that I've done is when the person is distant and I can't visit them, I actually in the email I put about 30 to 40 images. It's a tremendous amount for a person to absorb. But what they're going to see is they're going to see a diversity in what our abilities are. And I'm going to tell you that I thought I was being a pig in the beginning, but I can understand how many people go back to that one email and say, hey, I remember when you first sent this and I'm looking at this piece. And, can we develop something that's similar to that?
Yeah, that all goes back to people don't know what they want until they see it, or they don't know what's possible until you show them what's possible.
Right. Well, the term what I use is they don't know what they don't know. They don't know what they don't know.
So Matt, Sabine, this always happens to us. We start off with a theme. We do good for like 3-4 minutes, and then
maybe 5. Maybe
Perfectly okay.
This is typical par for the course.
Well, it's all because Matt is not wearing his tuxedo. Otherwise, he would have stayed on brand.
He would have set the tone.
But can I just say that I really admire what David has done, and all over the years, he does things with different papers, and I'm lucky to be the recipient of some of his samples. Like when he does an emboss, he doesn't just do it on one paper. He says, well, while we're at it, can we do it on 5 different papers so I have it for future reference?
Right.
And I think this is something that might be underutilized, because at some point in time, it's going to come in handy. When somebody says, well, our CEO thinks it should be blah, blah, blah. And then you can pull it out and say, well, as it then so happens, I tested this. And David is exceptional in that regard, where he always is like he just mentioned with the digital foil. He says, well, it didn't work out this time, but I have like 5 samples I can use next time. Right. So he's always willing to experiment for the next job, for the betterment of the next job.
Yeah, that's smart. So listen, before I ask my question to Jeff, I do want to let everybody know, for those of you, if it's your first time, so Sally, I know Michael, who's just getting his first press, Ron, welcome. We got Tracy, Sean, Mr. England's always in the background listening. I know he's not talking. Please, if you have questions, feel free. If you don't feel comfortable asking questions, just type it in the chat and I'll ask it for you. Don't feel like this is just limited to us. So please feel free to engage with the group. Jeff, the one question I wanted to ask you is there's probably a bunch of Gold Leaf Award winners on this call already. For those who don't know, if you're a designer, you should be trying to submit your pieces to get recognized. One of the best places to get recognized is through the FSCA, which is Jeff's organization. He holds every year an event called the Gold Leaf Awards. It's the really super prestigious, basically the sexy print awards, the way that I would best describe it. It's all the cool stuff. Jeff, you have been doing the Gold Leaf Awards for what, 30 years?
Really don't say that, but I think you're correct. Yes, I haven't been the director for 30 years, but yes, I think this was our 33rd annual Gold Leaf Awards. Yes.
So all the years that you have been directing the Gold Leaf Award, you have every year a bunch of the coolest print out there. And I would say probably 60 to 70% of what you're showing and what you're judging typically is related to the luxury market. I was wondering if you can give us some of your insight based on your recent judges in the past I don't know, 5 years or 10 years worth of submissions, what are you seeing the luxury market really starting to produce? Is there any trends that you can visually see as somebody who has sat and judged and received thousands of pieces in the mail?
Uh, it's interesting that Matt had showed that sample, the Lancome sample, and it looks like Joe from NAPCO had to step off the call.
Yeah, he just texted me. He had something come up, so yeah.
Because Joe's company is great. He's one of our FSCA members of doing some wonderful work that's more rigid box related. I think that's definitely a trend that we've seen. Matter of fact, we didn't have rigid box as a category until maybe 3 years ago or so.
Interesting.
It just kind of fell under, folding cart, the carton area. But we said, wow, we're getting so many different super cool rigid box applications with, like the magnetic, deal and beautiful and beautiful design, but a lot of it is fairly simple. Now, one of the areas that Joe and NAPCO specializes in is in the spirits area, and I think that is an area we've seen a lot of growth for luxury packaging. Is with spirits. I think everybody has seen the more expensive tequilas and the more expensive whiskeys, and they are all packaged super, in a luxury type of, rigid box example. So 100% that area has grown. And, there's no doubt about it. We've seen direct mail grow in the last few years. It's interesting what you see in direct mail is we all seen that postage continues to increase. Printing costs have increased, but the post office, probably the worst run business ever in history, and is ran by our government, just keeps increasing our postage rates. So what companies are realizing, and of course this is technology as well, is we better really zoom in on the people that we need to reach, target even further. And then if we're going to target further, we better make sure they're opening the direct mail piece that we're sending out.
Yeah, but I mean, I would go ahead and say, and Sabine, please jump in, or anybody else. I don't really see any direct mail from luxury companies. I think they are relying on their name more than anything it's maybe the fact that they don't send direct mail that makes them.
Well, Kevin, you're probably not luxury enough to be on the
Maybe
list.
I'm not on the list.
You're not on the right
I
list.
hate to break it to you, but when was the last time you bought a Chanel suit? Probably a while ago.
Right, but I mean, like, all right, I don't get things from Rolex, or I don't get things from and so I typically in direct mail, other than credit card companies, I just haven't seen many luxury. I see a ton of direct mail, I see a ton of embellishments, but not specifically. I feel like the luxury market, that's not like one of their go-tos in communication. I could be wrong. I'm just speaking for myself, but Sabine, you're in this every day, and we have a lot of printers here who do a ton of direct mail. Am I totally off base by saying something like that?
I think the key is really they're super laser focused, and that's been. I'm glad that Jeff brought this up and not me. It's really been a trend for the last few years where people, and I'm fully encouraged that I'm like rather print fewer pieces.
I'm gonna put Marco. I'm gonna put you on mute, buddy. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
And I've been saying that rather print fewer pieces and be laser targeted, and
Well,
really create an experience for those people who are your target market.
Right.
So.
Right.
I don't know if you bought a Rolex watch, and then I apologize, Rolex might not do direct mail, but I know that Chanel, for example, I've seen some beautiful notebooks from them, and other things. Are they using direct mail? I'm not on their mailing list. I'm not in that upper echelon, sorry. But if somebody from Chanel is listening, please feel free.
But like half these watch companies, you go to their stores, they have stores. They have things in the case. I'd like to look at this one. They're like, yeah, you have to get on a waiting list for 3 years if you want to buy a watch.
Oh yeah, that's like MS. That's
yeah,
MS.
An MS. Yeah, you have to buy this bag. You have to buy this bag before you qualify to buy that bag.
And then you're lucky if you get the color you want.
you can't buy a new Ferrari. Like if you buy a Ferrari, they make you buy a used one first, so you can say that
Yeah.
you've owned a Ferrari, then you qualify for buying a new one. So there's this whole game that these luxury
Mm.
companies are playing that's
Oh yeah.
really, really, I think, really
But
interesting.
it's exclusivity. We're back to what we
Yeah.
talked about at the very, 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 very beginning. It's exclusivity. It's
Yeah.
not for everybody.
Yeah.
And if you're not willing to pay $16,000 for a handbag and be for 2 years on the wait list, then I'm
Yeah.
sorry, you're not just not exclusive enough
That's right.
for our club.
That's right. Well, funny enough, I don't know. I think the NDA is up. We used to run tests when I was back at MGI. This was like 12 years ago in France. We would run tests for some of these really high-end luxury companies to digitally embellish on top of their leather. So we had like their leather with a really famous pattern on it. That's probably worth thousands of dollars in that palette. And we were trying to get the varnish and the foil to stick to do personalized handbags, so you could put like your initials on like a Louis Vuitton or a Chanel or Hermes bag. Didn't work, just so you know. We tried everything, it didn't work at the time. So I don't know if we've come any further, if anybody has done tests on that stuff, but we tried.
Say
It
that
is
again.
tough. It is tough.
I might have a solution for you.
Oh, David with the hack.
So you're saying that you have like what was the product? Tell me.
It was just pallets of leather
Right.
that had been pre-printed with like say the Louis Vuitton pattern, and they wanted us to put varnish and then gold to stick to the varnish so that they could actually do personalized, and it worked okay, but it would scratch off. So if you're buying a $16,000 handbag,
Right.
you can't have that stuff scratching off.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I don't have a solution for that. Forget it.
And then, I think they probably determined that there's again, it's a situation where you're looking at different processes. That's a hot,
Yeah.
that's set up for hot stamp.
For
Because
sure.
you're actually going to press into that leather somewhat when
Right.
you're hot stamping a gold or a silver, and that helps protect it. And matter of fact, even if the foil somehow goes away at some point,
Okay, how you doing?
still see the indention of the name in the leather.
Yeah, you still have the emboss for sure.
Mhm.
Very cool. All right, let's open up to anybody else. Sally, Ron, is there anything that you want to talk about? Do you want to share anything? I know Tracy's
Love
doing
it.
some really interesting work with augmented reality. I don't know, Tracy, if you wanted to tell us, are you seeing anything from the augmented reality world when it came to the luxury companies?
Yeah, thank you. I think that they're failing to use it as they should. I think augmented reality is still a messaging source for a direct personal message. And if they utilized it correctly, they would go a lot further in their messaging than they currently are. Direct mail is a huge area that augmented reality should be used in. And again, get that personalized message, because there's so much you can do with augmented reality with the data behind it, and personalize it just how we are with print. So I think it's where, Kev, we've been in the embellishment for a long time, right? I was one of the first to place one of the MGIs, and it's just not. It's not where it needs to be. It's not where it should be, but it is in that luxury space. I just wrote that down. What is luxury? It equals, like you said, Sabine, exclusivity, right?
Right.
And it also dictates where marketing's going. And David, with what you had said, I had mentioned this just earlier. A designer can turn a whole idea if they know what they have to design to. So if they know how easy augmented reality is with a no-code based solution now, and you don't have a lot of coding behind it, it's very easy if a designer is savvy and forward thinking of saying, hey, what if we did this? People are used to scanning codes. AR codes are no different.
Do you see a lot, or do you see any trends where people are marrying digital embellishments with augmented reality for like the maximum? I think after that, what you have to put scented coatings in there, and then it's like
right. And you're right.
Yeah.
Yes. If they're wise, they would be doing that. They would be doing the soft touch personalization, bling, and AR. You get all of the senses in one, and you still use your traditional sources of TV, radio, word of mouth, and print, and have social sprinkle what it needs to on it. That's my personal opinion of 30 years being in the marketing and print, creative print space. And be bold with it. There's no reason to apologize anymore. Like, come on. David said something about the younger generation. We're not too far from them, but we're still the leaders. And if we're apologizing for paving the way, man, we better check ourselves.
No, you're right. You're right. I agree.
Well, I think so. In the last few weeks or last few months, I had two experiences that stood out, and Tracy said something very important. If the designer is savvy, and I had several experiences in the last few months where I'm like, oh my God, we're doing them such a disservice because they don't know.
Right.
One of the experiences was at Amplify. Hi, Jeff.
Yeah. Thank you for the plug.
You're welcome. So, and as it then so happens, I have the piece here because there was one other designer and myself, two designers at the whole show. We joked about that. But she spoke up at some point in time, and she came to me on the show floor, and she showed me an example of a fundraiser that she's done. Fundraiser, high end, luxury, not maybe, but 300, so small print run. So as it then so happens, she was kind enough to send me a sample. Okay. So with you all on the call, so this is the little overlay, and then it folds up, and you're going to see this is on one of my reels, but that's a different story. Okay. So this is a pearlescent pink sheet wrapped around.
Digital
pardon?
Digital die cut?
Okay,
Laser.
this is what okay, let's take some votes. For 300, how would you have done the die cut?
100% laser.
Yeah, laser.
Cut.
Okay.
Actually, you can't die cut that.
Okay, here's what happened.
On the roll die.
The printer ordered a die. She had to pay for the die. She had to pay for the shipping of the die. And I'm standing on the floor, and I'm next to Ryan, who's not on the call today, but we geeked out on this one. And we're looking at each other, and we're like, which one of us is going to break it to her that she's been had?
Yeah.
Because for 300, you don't need a die. Everybody here on the call said right away laser. And I felt, on one hand side, how do I say this? I felt humbled that she was comfortable enough to ask, because most designers would not ask, or most people would just say, oh my God, I've been had. I don't want anybody to know that the wool was pulled over my eyes.
Well, it's possible that it was done laser and he still charged for the die.
Correct.
I've heard of that happening too.
That could be done as well anyway, but she was charged for the die. That's the main thing. But what my point in this was,
Horrible.
She will not trust him again.
Yeah.
Right.
She will not, and then from there on out, will she trust print again? So we're back to the savvy part that Tracy mentioned, where if designers do not know that there are three options for them to cut something, let's face it, it's the regular die, it's a digital, as Kevin and I was like digital, you know, and there's laser. But if they don't even know why and how, and that's just one example. We're doing them a disservice. We need to bring them up, and yes, we know what we're doing, but as David said earlier, we need to talk to younger people. We need to educate them, and we cannot rely on schools, because let's not go there. And technology changes very quickly, as we know.
It does.
So I have a question on that, Sabine, only because on that, I honestly, to be humbled, I would have said a die, because I would have said a die. And the reason being is because I've seen some paper burn out when you laser it. And so I would think, and plus that's a little bit more intricate. And
but this is what laser is there for.
You gotta smell it. You gotta smell it.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm just like, there's that, again, that education point, right? Because I've seen some lasers do some really cool things, but on certain papers, again, it burns it out. So it doesn't
smell it. Smell it.
No,
it wouldn't be
one better.
Like and then you have
it's laser cut, huh?
It's laser cut.
So you have a burn, but you have burnt. That's so funny. So they charged for the die and they ran it laser.
Oh, wow.
Oh, well, that's
Yeah,
par
so
for the course.
interesting, right? So, and most people won't loop it or do that. They don't even loop it with
Well, that's
printed
why we
I
here, we
do,
all
but we
travel
do,
with the
right?
loop.
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
Well,
right. We do, but they don't. So,
Yeah.
but on that again, traditionally, I would probably throw a die on that. Yeah, it looks like they lasered it, but just for that reason, again, one, the education point, but again, the paper factor of it burning out, the intricacy. But then I've seen those dies where they're just the kiss cuts that are they round. And that I like when I saw that, I was like, that's a perfect application for those. I can't remember the equipment right now off the top of my head. I apologize. But it just kiss cuts and it's for stickers and so forth. And that's what
But
kind of
all
what
these,
I
the
seen it
laser
on.
can kiss cut, the laser can kiss cut,
Mhm.
and the digital one can as well.
Yeah.
They
So
can
Yeah,
all
so
just,
interesting that they charged her for a die, like we had said, and it kicked back to being laser, right?
well, and thank you for pointing this out. I'm like, I took her word for it, and then I'm like, wait a second. So good thing I brought this up here. So she was doubly had, which I'm not going to break to her. So
well, you know, in the early days of embellishments, people were running the work digitally, but we're still charging for foil stamping dies and just charging the same. That was like the first early days, the first users when there was like maybe 100 users in the world. That's how it was done. And have I showed you guys this piece, Steve? I'm plugging you, buddy. Steve Englund is a good friend of mine. He's at Serious Graphics. So this is for a casino, right? This is a casino type work. So you're going to see that there's gold with varnish overlay on it, a matte lamination. We have some holographic foil standing out. But the coolest part, and Steve, buddy, you got to talk us through this, is when you open it, like this is not augmented reality, but it's like actual reality.
oh,
It actually
nice.
flips like an actual, and it's all embellished for the
Nice.
casino work. Steve, do you want to give us a little tutorial on how you did this? Because this is absolutely bonkers. Every time I look at it, I have it on my desk just to give you an idea.
I actually drove myself crazy trying to engineer the correct folds on that so that it worked every time that you pulled it. It wasn't simple, but once you engineered the piece, then it was time to come up with the creative. And I definitely knew that I wanted some form of digital embellishment on that piece. I wanted something that was very interactive, and I think most people are so caught up on playing with that they don't even bother to read the card. So it's
I
sort
haven't read
of,
it yet. I've shown it a million times. I've never read it.
and that's kind of my point is I think that it sort of served the purpose, but at the same time, everybody, again, I repeat myself, everybody was caught up on the action and they didn't bother to read the piece. So there might be applications where that's appropriate, but I know with what we're here to talk about today, designing for luxury print, I don't know that would be something that somebody would want to do.
You're right. It was off topic. I just wanted to show and tell. And I saw that you were on the call. And it was literally staring at me, and I just had to show it off. So
yeah, and I apologize for not being more participatory. I'm actually in the middle of doing three things all at once, and so but I'm definitely listening in.
no, we appreciate it. We appreciate it.
I'm gonna put my hand up. Steve, do you are you a printer or are you a broker, designer? What are you?
I personally am a lot of those things, but I'm actually representing Serious Graphics in Phoenix, and we are a commercial print provider that's been here for 52 years. So
Okay, so what I'm asking is I might have an application for something similar to that. I'd like to connect with you after this.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
we could talk about that.
I'll send an email introducing both of you right
That's
after.
beautiful.
Thank you.
I welcome that anytime. And I also want to give major kudos to Sabine. I follow Sabine all the time, and I absolutely love her work and everything that she does. So
Appreciate it.
yes.
Hey Steve, this is Tracy. Thank you again. I've said it just recently on Warren Warburt's podcast that I was on with him. Serious Graphics, they've put out some of the best embellishment pieces there is, and also talking about luxury as well. Corfact in San Leandro, they have their whole real estate side is on the luxury real estate that they use. digital embellishment for.
Mhm.
And they do some amazing pieces as well. The two companies that in all my years I've come across have done beautiful work.
We've
The
got some pretty exciting stuff in the works as well. It's things that I can't talk about or show right now. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about some things that we're working on.
I expect a care package, Steve.
Absolutely.
Very cool. Well, I'll send an email introducing you guys too. So that's what this community is for, is so that we can all meet and join and share cool stuff and learn from one another. Matt, I know that you had prepared some slides for us. As usual,
We never get around
we
to it.
never get around.
Yeah,
to
I
it.
never get around to it because you all are so wonderful and lively. I wanted to go back to an earlier topic though,
Okay.
that from the very beginning, which was like, I can't even remember how many subjects that was ago. We talked about the definition of luxury. And then the one thing I wanted to expand upon before this whole thing got out of control in a wonderful way was luxury style. There's luxury brands, but then there's just marrying that kind of an idea into creating what is a luxury style for any brand. And that's where the digital embellishment comes in for this whole process, because you can elevate the look of anything if you steal some of those elements and incorporate it into any packaging, whether it's a rigid box or if it's the tones or colors or texture or just the style itself. If you look at any of the high-end luxury brands and just kind of absorb what it is about those that makes them look that way, you can apply that to any other piece. And so that was basically what my little slideshow was about, that we don't have time for. One thing that I did want to show is that we did do a bourbon box here. Let me get my background off so you can see this better. And it's done with that luxury kind of style with tone on tone.
Yeah.
And then you've got like a textured varnish that appears like a wood oak cask on the sides, along with foil elements as well.
So how did you get that screen? Is that like a texture in the varnish that you put in?
So
Is it
first of
pattern?
all, it's printed. There's very light area. It's just printed slightly lighter where it looks like, a rendition of an oak cask. And then once that's printed on top of it, you put it's just like 18 microns
Okay,
of
so just
varnish with a glitter screen or like a sand
no
texture.
dithering.
No dithering. I typically don't use dithering, but it just a haze. It's just the
Yeah.
slightest little
That looks great.
haze on the side. And so you get that tactile feel on the side of the box while you're holding it,
Yeah.
as well as the visual of the foil on the front,
That's
and
very
then
cool.
the tone on tone.
What's
And
inside though? Even more importantly.
what's inside is bourbon.
There was bourbon. I
Uh,
think they sent me one for the Gold Leaf Awards, and I think I got one bottle of bourbon out of it.
Yeah, they tape
I
like
told
20
them I
bucks to the top.
They actually had that batch. I don't know if you know the story, but they had that batch of bourbon custom made.
Yep.
Specifically
Wow.
just for that packaging.
Wow.
It was just a very specific batch that only came out of that batch for that bottle in that box.
That's my dream, is to launch tactile tequila, right? That's like, we have the design, we haven't gotten around to
Tactile
it.
tequila. I
Yeah,
love it.
we want to do the tactile tequila brand.
Yeah, we'll do it someday. We'll get it done.
Yeah, when we have a minute. Very good. All right. Anybody else wanted to speak up? Any other comments or things or trends that we're seeing in the luxury market, or maybe not even related to the luxury market, that you guys wanted to chat about as a group?
Hey, Kevin, I might make a comment, and this is luxury oriented, is that I think a lot of people think, oh boy, embellishments and having a special rigid box or design for packaging is all about what the consumers see on the shelf.
Right.
But in reality, of course, Amazon and mail order for everything in the world now, brands are understanding that it's also important that the packaging, especially for luxury items, that the packaging is very well done and classy and professional, even if a customer is getting it in the mail order.
Right.
Because
Unboxing.
when they open that box, you know, the cardboard box, and then that, you know, whatever luxury item it is, it's important to them that that design and look is, you know, elegant and classy. So it's not about all, you know, packaging on the shelf and
Not only,
what
it's part
consumers
of it. The
see.
packaging
Yeah, the
has to stand out
packaging,
in either way. Yeah.
even in our world today of mail order. So the mail order situation doesn't totally hurt, you know, which I think some people would think, oh gosh, they don't need to put specialty digital embellishments or other embellishments on their box or package because, you know, people are ordering that through the mail. But that is still important to you know, it's important for brands to still have that look. So
Well, I mean, just look when you order something on Amazon, Jeff, they have a picture of the box.
right.
I mean,
Yeah.
why would they put that if it had nothing? Like, oftentimes they'll have a picture of what the box looks like, and then they'll take it in such a way where the embellishments are very noticeable. So I do want you guys to, next time you're ordering something on Amazon, look for that and realize there's a reason for that, and that's to basically vehiculate premium quality when they show that kind of stuff. That's the reason they have a picture of the box, because what happens in a store also happens online. If you're going through and the box looks flimsy and shitty, and you're like, "Oh, it's a crappy product." Same thing happens when you're actually on Amazon. So it's very, very similar. So very good point, Jeff. Thank you for bringing that up. All right. So Matt, you want to bring us home?
Yeah, well, I don't know that there's any home to go to. This thing was so wayward.
we kind of stayed on topic this time. We weren't
Yeah,
totally off.
it was better than last time. Last
Last
time was
time.
really fragmented.
Yeah.
You guys
So,
invited Drucker. You knew it was going to go a different way.
Well,
Oh,
Where-
he had
Sorry,
some
Matt.
really good luxury points. So-
well, we're always happy to have all of you contributors on this call, especially people like Sabine Lenz,
yes.
our you know, Jeff, everybody who is a sponsor and contributor. One person I haven't heard from on this call is Sally.
You know what is coming through my head? I get to hear Sabine at Amplify, and I was like, this woman has so much information. But what I wanted to go
you.
back to, you're welcome. What I wanted to go back to is education. Last night, I went to an American Marketing Association event for Boston that covers all of New England. And I go to AIGA events all the time. In fact, we worked on a project with Tactify at the Museum of Printing. And I look at all of this as education, but what I don't see is a hunger for it, of the interest. I mean, it's absolutely fascinating to me, and it's not where my original career was. And I don't understand how to get to those audiences to say, you've got to come see it, you've got to feel it.
I
You
think
know?
it's information on demand. We have to be mindful that the majority of designers, 80% of their time is spent on web and digital.
Right.
And 20% of their time, if we're lucky, is spent on print. And if we then make it complicated or give them false information, like my poor friend with the die that turned out to be a laser cut, that's not helping.
Right.
And one of the reasons why I do these super short reels, because we realized that people have zero attention span. So I'm trying to stay under, I talk fast, but I'm still trying to stay under 30 seconds before people move on. And I have to say, it's amazing to see how many people respond to that. I said, oh, I didn't know that. Thank you. But it's really short and bite-sized. Getting anybody out to anything these days is really hard.
Yes.
And I know you did the Museum of Print with Frank, and Eric was there, I think.
Yeah.
Yes. Eric was there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really hard because they're like, wait, you want me to give up a whole day or half a day to get out there for print when I'm only spending a small portion of my time on that?
Right.
So we got to make it really, to use Kevin's word, sexy, and entice them.
Yeah.
And make it really worth their while, but I think it's up to us, all of us, the whole industry, to educate designers. This was just one example. I had some others in the last few months where I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that they don't know this. So we have to encourage them to ask and provide them with the information whenever they need it.
Yeah.
I have samples all the time everywhere.
Yeah.
That too, and to just evangelize it, because the old joke is, how do you know if someone is a vegan? They'll tell you. So you don't even have to ask. They're just in your face about it. And so that's what we do here too. And if there's any way that anybody here knows of a way to broaden this, by forwarding a link to this video, because Kevin will post it after this event on the Tactile YouTube channel. So you can copy that link and send it to, hey, this might interest you. See if you want to dive a little bit deeper into this whole thing. Feel free to do that with anybody you know, whether they're a designer or marketer or printer or whatever.
Right.
Cool.
Matt and Kevin, thank you. And if I may just jump in quickly, I'm glad that you brought that up, because I've always been an advocate of education myself, and putting together a workshop on the 18th of next month to discuss this. And one reason is because as a designer, and again, educating them on what they need to know, it does two things, especially when in embellishment and especially in AR. When you know how to design for it, it ups your revenue. Secondly, the pendulum of print is swinging back. So if you don't know how to convert CMYK or RGB to CMYK and design for print, you're going to lose your thank you for the good word, your style in the space, because you're not going to have all facets of design. If you're staying totally with digital design, you're really putting yourself out of a job eventually.
Yeah, you're losing the edge. Yeah.
You're losing the edge, because print, all roads lead back to print.
Yeah.
And although digital is here to stay and so forth, people like print. They like seeing their name in print. They like to touch print. They like to feel, they like to hear. And that's why augmented reality, again, is the nth degree. When you add all of that together, like you were saying, Kevin, you go diodes, right? Diodes were on the market a while ago.
Yeah.
Remember Eric talking about those. But where we're at right now, if you're a designer and want to make those six figures plus, learn augmented reality, learn embellishment, learn how to design for print.
That's a great
because it's more difficult. Plus, on the commercial side, when designers know how to design for print, they're saving a lot of time and money in the pre-press.
I love it.
So commercial printers bring graphic designers through their shop and say, this is why it's so important. You know how to convert and flatten and do all of this in your files. So I can save you, Mr. Customer, time and money, because I'm charging you for pre-press time. And every time I have to fix it, it's costing you money. So if you can teach your designers to design all the gamut, you really can take your career further faster as well.
Us brand
owners look for that. As a brand owner, I look for that. Who can take me the furthest, fastest in what I'm looking to do?
Right.
So I know we have like 2 minutes left, but Tracy, I just wanted to bring up another point. So just before the coronavirus pandemic, it seemed like multi-channel marketing was gaining a lot of traction. And so AR was in an upswing, embellishment was all in an upswing, all these enhanced methods were being like really, people were just getting really interested in it. And then the pandemic happened and then everything went flat. So do you think we're back into that Renaissance state where we're ready to start moving back into the multi-channel marketing era?
Yes, we're already there.
Absolutely.
We just need to be brave enough to enhance it as we were. And people have pulled back, agreed, but you can't pull back anymore. That's when you go forward. When you're in a low, you go forward. That's like dollars and all of that stuff. We can get into a whole topic on that, right? But when it comes to strategizing and money, teach your designers how to design for print. You're going to save yourself, your business, a lot of time and money, and your brands. And
awesome. I love it, guys. You guys have been phenomenal. What a phenomenal conversation. Matt, thank you for being a great host. Big thank you to our key sponsors again. Thank you, MGI. Sabine at Paper Specs. Couldn't do this without you. Thank you for bringing your people and bringing your expertise. And a big thank you to Jeff Peterson, the FSE and Digital Embellishment Alliance for sponsoring this session. We will see you next month. Matt, do we know what's now on the docket for next month? Or
no, we haven't really figured that out yet, but we'll definitely let you know in due time.
All right, we'll let you guys know soon. Thank you again, everybody. Look for this. We post it on YouTube. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.